As part of our building program at Humber River Hospital, we created mock-up rooms. We created 8 different mock-up rooms, really for an opportunity to look at room size, the architectural feature in the room, where we might place items like head walls and different pieces of equipment, for room colors, room finishes, colors of paint, all of those things. And the mock-up rooms have been very useful to us. They've been available to staff, physicians, and volunteers to travel through and give us lots of feedback, which has been very helpful in the ongoing design process. And now I would like to take you on a tour of the mock-up rooms. 80% of our patient rooms are single patient rooms. On every 32-bed inpatient unit, there will be 2 semi-private rooms, and all the rest are single patient rooms. There are also actual airborne precaution rooms on every floor. This is an example of an inpatient room, and the rooms are divided to have, as you first enter, what we call the patient care side of the room. So this is for the staff. There is a sink with hand cleaning solution or soap, depending on what you wish to use, paper towels, and then an area for the staff to work out of that will have all of the devices they need, including gloves, sharps containers, Purell, hand cleaning solution, an area to do their charting. In the middle of the room, we have the patient care areas. The head wall with the nurse call system, oxygen suction, electrical outlets, and all of the equipment required to actually treat the patient. At the foot of the patient bed is a 42-inch monitor that is the patient's entertainment center. It also includes their TV, their internet access, but it's much more than that. It's a communication tool that will have the patient's health record on it, and they will have access to many parts of it. It will also have their goals for discharge, any of the tests or treatments that they're having that day. They'll order their food from it. They'll be able to tell who their care team is. There will be patient education and learning material on it, and it is also one of the 2 documentation tools in the room. As a member of staff that has access to the health record, I'll be able to go up to that monitor, simply swipe my card on the side of the monitor, and it will come directly in to the sign-in screen for Meditech. Enter my password, and I'm into that patient's chart within 5 seconds. And there is a portable keyboard and a mouse that will allow you to chart from anywhere in the room. Every patient room has what we call an integrated bedside terminal. The integrated bedside terminal is a second device in the room, which does all of the things that the monitor I just spoke to you about at the foot of the bed does, but it is closer access for the patient, closer access for the provider, should you wish to sign on and document there, or if the patient wants to look at their TV, their email, or their health record. Each patient room has a family area, which allows not only an area for the family to sit and be with the patient, but also encouraging family members to stay overnight. We are testing and will be providing in every room some kind of a pull-out sleeping device so that families who wish to stay will have somewhere comfortable to sleep. Each of the windows are chromatic glass. Chromatic glass is a special glass that darkens depending on how we set the windows from the automatic control system within the building to become a little bit darker at nighttime. So while the patient can see out, they still have a sense of a bit of coverage on the window. It will also be changed by season of the day depending on whether the window is facing to the south or the north, and that's part of our green process, which saves us energy and heat. As well, the patient's bedside terminal and their integrated bedside terminal will allow them to modify how covered that window is at any time, how dark that window is. There is a drapery provided in the room that will also allow you to separate the patient and or visitors from the family, so care providers are not having to ask them to leave the room. And for those patients who wish, it can be pulled in front of the window if they're not comfortable without a drapery in front of the window. Each of the single patient rooms has a 3-piece bathroom, not only for use by the patient, but also for family members who may stay overnight to accompany the patient. The bathrooms, first of all, have sliding doors. And the sliding door in our testing was something that was much easier and much less of a trip hazard for patients to open and close. Each of the bathrooms has lighting in it that is controlled by occupancy. Again, part of our greening strategy. So the patient simply has to start the door opening, and the light in the bathroom will automatically go on. And the door slides out of the way quite gently, and most of that sliding is on its own. The bathroom, as I said, is a three-piece washroom. And so first of all, there is a shower in the far end of the room. The shower has appropriate grab bars and the ability for the patient to either handhold the device or the nurse to handhold the device if required, and also to allow the patient to take a shower as they might at home. The bathroom floor is a special slip-proof product, and in fact there is no lip or any kind of a frame around the shower, allowing the care provider to wheel the patient in on a shower chair quite comfortably. Each room has a sink with a mirror and a countertop, allowing the patient access to that sink or the caregiver access to that sink. And then of course a toilet with grab bars both at the back and the side, and ensuring that there's enough room for staff to be able to maneuver around that toilet should a wheelchair be required or assistance in lifting the patient. When the patient leaves the bathroom, again the door is given a pull, and the bathroom door essentially closes on its own. The occupancy light action allows the patient to actually get back to their bed before that light goes out. There are night lights in the room as well, lighting the way to the bathroom. Every patient room has a closet, and this closet is available for their clothes. It is also available for their personal belongings. The closets have a lock on them, and that lock will be set by combination by the patient, much like they are in hotel room safes. And then when the patient leaves, it can be left unlocked, or if the combination is lost, overridden. There is also a section within that cupboard that is not locked for patient care staff to put supplies that may be required. We're now entering the semi-private patient room. This room is set up in very similar principles to the single patient room. First, we have the patient care provider side, which is always on the approach of the patient. Again, with the sink and all of the amenities you saw in the single patient room, the provider area with the requirements. The second bed in the room, then the provider always approaches on the closest side to the door, and so this is the provider care area in the middle of the room. One of the best features of the semi-private room is the size of the window. So it is a full wall length window. Again, it has all of the chromatic glass features that are in the single patient room, but the nice part about this is the amount of light it will let into the room, and even if the patient in the first bed by the window wants the drapery closed between the two, first patient bed will have an opportunity to look out the window. Each room has, of course, a three-piece bathroom again that will be shared by these patients. You will see that each of these rooms has two closets, again set up exactly the same way as the single patient room. What you may notice at the foot of the bed in this room is that we do not have the big 42-inch TV screen. And the reason we don't have that is because of patient privacy. So these patients will rely on their integrated bedside terminal for their entertainment. You will rely on that as a care provider for charting, and we will also have other mobile charting devices for these rooms. Each patient room, whether it is a single bed or a semi-private room, has a lift, a patient lift mounted above the ceiling, and it will be equipped with the proper lifts in order to allow us to have assistance getting patients out of the bed. These lifts will be the same as we have in our current Humber River sites. There are 18 special care nursery bays. Each of them is equipped for a single baby. A few of them are equipped for twins. Outside of each special care nursery, which are built side by side, there is a charting station where one or two nurses will be able to sit to observe the babies even if they're not in the nursery. Again, the nursery is set up following the same principle. There is the staff area, the patient care area, and a family area. The staff area, much like you saw in the single patient rooms, allows hand washing, hand cleaner, whatever is required. And then at the bedside, we have the bassinet for the baby. We have a head wall that has all the gases, electrical, and data that would be required in the nurse call system. There will be gloves available at the head. There is also going to be documentation and supply carts. There is a space for a bear hugger and a nursery basket. And then around the end of the room is the family area with a comfortable chair, again, allowing the mom an opportunity to be comfortable while breastfeeding or feeding the baby, also a spot to sleep overnight if they wish to. Many of the nurseries have their own window, again with the chromatic glass, and this allows patients to be able, the family members to be able to look out. That chromatic glass will also be controlled through the building monitoring system. There are 48 single patient critical care rooms. The rooms are grouped together so that between every 2 rooms is a charting station for 2 nurses to sit at. They'll have their computer there, they'll have their cardiac monitor screen so that they can monitor up to 6 beds, and they will be able to look through the window to observe the patient in the room. Each of the rooms has a glass breakaway door that allows quiet and privacy for the patient, but also allows access to a 5-foot entrance should that be required to get equipment or furniture in and out of the room. Each of the patient rooms, again, you enter on a caregiver side. There is a sink for hand washing, hand cleaner solution, and whatever is required. And then there is the patient care side of the room, although the critical care room has been set up to allow equipment on both sides of the room. There are head walls on either side of the patient bed with the appropriate electrical, oxygen, suction, and data drops. Gloves, sharps containers, hand sanitizer, all available. There is a window in each patient room, and this is particularly important for the isolation effects that patients feel in critical care rooms. Again, the window is chromatic glass, and it will be used in the same manner as the windows in the single patient rooms are. There is a family area at the far end of the room, which will allow family members a sleep station to stay over if they wish. Each room is equipped with a patient closet, and again, each of the patient rooms has the large screen at the foot of the bed, not only for the patient to watch TV, but also for the family or for the chart and all of the things that I explained in the single patient room. There are 20 operating rooms in the new hospital, and between every 2 rooms is a scrub area. This is an example of what it looks like. Each of the scrub areas will have 4 very deep scrub sinks for circulating staff, physicians, and anesthetists to scrub at prior to surgery. As well, within the scrub area, there is a doorway that allows them to go directly into the operating room for gowning and gloving after scrubbing. Let me show you where the patient enters, though. From a center corridor, the patient will walk or be wheeled into an operating room. It's a very large doorway that allows us to get equipment and patient needs in and out of the room. The room itself is about 750 square feet. The scrub area brings the surgeon right into where there will be a computer for them to work at, should any information need to be looked at, a TV screen at the foot of the bed. There is a nursing station in the room, a large nursing station, and our AV integration equipment, which we have spent a great deal of time on. The AV integration equipment will allow a number of people in the room to observe the surgery. It will allow people to have racks to hold the equipment on. The oxygen suction and gases are designed such that there will be no cords across the room. The anesthetist at the head of the bed will have their own unit to provide gases and to provide electrical with the call station, as well as the anesthetic cart. And then the room has been designed such that the lighting can be controlled by either at the nursing station or it can be controlled by the physician. The rooms are set up that surgeries can be shown in other rooms if permission is given, shown off-site, and should a surgeon have a problem in a room or wish to consult with a colleague, they can also show that room, they can show the procedure going on to another physician outside of the hospital on their own computer or a handheld device if consultation is required. There are 15 labor delivery recovery rooms. And again, the same principle in all of our rooms. The patient approach side is the caregiver side of the room. Sink and all of the hand washing, cleaning, and gloving supplies required, a charting space, a neonatal resuscitation space for when the baby is first born, should it be required, and then the birthing area. Now, the gaping hole at the head of the wall you may wonder about. Well, sometimes when you create mock-up rooms, some of the things that you thought were going to work great and look great turn out terrible. This is where the head wall that will have gases and electrical for both the mother and the baby is going to be gone back to the drawing board to ensure we get the correct product. The far side of the room then has the bassinet for the baby to be in after they've been born, a two-seater pull-out couch allowing the spouse to stay over, and it flips out to a double bed. There's also a chair for visitors. Each of the LDRPs, again, has a three-piece bathroom. The door in this room is particularly interesting because in the semi-private and the private room, you saw a stainless steel door. But we've actually, in our trials, switched all of those doors out to be this wood color door. It is a lighter frame, it is easier for the patient to manage, and we actually think it adds a bit of color and design to the room. So again, the door is just pushed and it opens quite nicely on its own. The light is activated when the door is opened. It is a three-piece bathroom, shower, toilet, sink, non-slip floor, just as you saw in the single patient room. When the door closes, it's simply given a small tug or two and it slides shut. Labor and delivery rooms, of course, have a huge need for equipment, carts, and supplies. And so the labor delivery room has been designed a little bit differently in that it does allow a space for equipment and carts of supplies. There's a bit of a desk, a cupboard for products, and then of course a locker for the family to put their belongings in.